on this computer. Okay. I see a little hand back there. Guys, it's April. It's April. And I don't know about you, but I'm real happy about it because it is nicer outside. And I think when it's nicer outside, people are nicer, people are happier, and truthfully, our businesses do better. So it's just an all around win. But I have kind of, instead of just like talking at you guys today about like all the things going on, the reality is we have calendars, we have posting calendars, we all know all the things going on for our business. But I want to do an activity together. But before we do that, has everybody seen like the posting calendar, the schedule, all of that kind of stuff? Jen Callahan, yes, you did. I sent you in a text. She's muted. You're muted.
I glanced at it, but I haven't. I usually on Mondays, I write it all out on my schedule for the week, and I haven't had a chance to do that this morning. So,
well, you've seen a physical picture of it.
Yes.
And that actually is part of our task today. Is there any questions about the month?
I just have something to add that's not on the calendar because I didn't have my stuff together, but the book study is going to be Tuesdays at 11:15 or 8:30, whichever one works for your schedule better. But I'll be posting those. So 12th or 13th, etc. It's in the email that you got today in your inbox.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up. My computer is not doing it. And I can edit that calendar and put it back up. That's not a big deal. Has anybody started their book?
I opened it, looked at it, figured out there's 3 parts to it.
I looked at the table of contents.
So you started reading any pages?
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
I thought we were supposed to wait.
But I did carry it around with me.
I guess that is a good question. Maddie, what is kind of your thought process?
Yeah. So you'll want to start reading it. So the first week we'll go over part 1. The second week we'll go over part 2. The third week we'll go over part 3. So it's 200 pages total. So even if you don't get the book until the day before, or maybe even the day of, I bet you'd be okay. But it is going to be designed to ask questions on that part that we have, upcoming to that. So tell your people.
And I feel like the type of book it is, it's going to be, well, Sarah and I differ in this area. We've talked about this. I think these types of books are easy to read and I kind of like read through them real quick. Whereas she is that way with like stories and I'm not that way. I read a couple pages and I'm like, I'm over this. And so if you are a personal development type person or like growth, this will feel like an easy read to you. So good luck, Sarah. Anyway, I would love to start. I was talking with a friend, a sideline Sally, over the weekend and a couple days ago, and she is doing this this activity with her team, and I really liked what she had to say about it. And so I think it would just be really beneficial to kind of walk through these steps. And you don't have to talk, you don't have to even have your video on, but I would love if you share your thoughts in the chat if you have thoughts on each of these subjects. And so we're just going to kind of go through. It's not really a power hour, kind of, it's just an interactive call. But I want to start with capturing our thoughts. Okay, so actually every single one of us on the physical call right now, if you're watching, you might not be in this stage, but if you're on this physical call right now, you have been in this business for a little while and you've seen the highs and you've seen the lows. And I don't know where you're at in your head, in your mind right now in this business. I know where I'm at, and I think a lot of that attributes to taking a tiny bit of time off and just like letting myself rest and be in a good place. But I know where my head has been as well. And so the first part is just capturing your thoughts. And I would love for you to take captive one thought that might be a negative thought in your head. And I want you to speak it out loud and share it with us. Okay. So it could be anything from something I am struggling with in my personal, and I will share mine with you like verbally right now, is I don't know how I'm going to build more legs. That is a thought that goes through my head constantly. I don't know where these people are going to come from. You know, all of you guys know we had a senior Ruby walk away, and that felt really hard for a little while. And that part is not hard anymore. But now in my thoughts, what I need to take captive is I am able and capable of helping people grow in this business. So that is a negative thought in my head. Then I'm switching and turning around to something positive. Because it's what we think is what we are going to end up doing. And what we think ends up coming out of our voice and out of our mouth and out of our texts, out of our posts. And I don't want to be posting in a way that is saying, I'm not capable of building up leaders in my business. Not really beneficial here. So I would love for you guys to either unmute yourself and share one of yours, or type it in the comments.
I just have the I can't verbiage in my head lately, where I can't add more. I can't help someone succeed, and what I know I can because I have, but that's the phase I am right now, where I'm just speaking those negativities to myself.
So how can you turn that around? Besides just saying I can.
Put in the effort, because the reason why I can't is in my head is because I haven't been.
So I want you to think in your head, I am a leader. I am capable of building up leaders. I am strong. I am encouraging. I have value. And I know this is like elementary, but what I am very much seeing in my personal life is speaking those truths over myself and seeing them even in that silly app that pops on my phone every day. It works. And so I want you to say those things over and over. Anyone else? I'm seeing some in the comments. And they're the same. I can't develop a silver.
I was going to say mine is pretty similar to Sarah's, and I think it was Bethany who typed that. I'm just really struggling with finding people who want to do the business and stick with it versus just wanting those initial sparkly bonuses, or sticking with it past, once they've run through their family and friends, basically. Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with. And to fix that, I really need to be talking about the business more than I do, and being consistent about sharing the business versus going through a little phase here and there where I'm all about it and talk about it and share about it, and then I'll fall off the wagon again. And anyway.
Yes, Bethany, we will send you the recording. We will miss you. She is in call land of work today. Jen, yes. I told Maddie this I think it was like a week ago. I said, I can, and this is where that positive, like speaking, like I sit there and I say, I can recruit people for the products. I do it all the time. I can recruit people to take these products and love them and stick with them. But I'm not speaking that same language over this business. And again, a lot of that comes through speaking confidently about the business and the income opportunity and the money, and not just the money, but just the opportunity to change people's lives. So I'm with you. You're muted.
Yeah,
That's me talking to my child.
We can't see your face.
You have your pretty Easter dress on, Jen. This is a hard one, so I'm gonna be the odd man out here. I'm not struggling so much in the developing silver area right now, but I've been at this a long time and I'm not emerald yet, and I now have, I'm get emotional. I have multiple friends who quite honestly have quit the business for months at a time. 3 of these friends that are now emerald, and it's really hard because I could probably count on one hand how many times I've taken a day off from this business. It's hard.
So how are we gonna rewrite that?
Well, I don't know that I'm going to quit for a few months. I don't know that that's the right answer, but it seems to be a popular one out there. Yeah. So I'm not sure.
You're emerald. Points just got to catch up. Guys, I wanted to do this because I think it's real easy to ignore those thoughts, although we're all having them. And number one, saying them out loud in front of all of us together right now shows that we all have those thoughts. It's just a matter of how we're going to deal with them moving forward, right? And how we're going to change that narrative for our business moving forward. Because I mean, I didn't say that, but Maddie, I mean, I can relate to that. I'm like, I have girls that went emerald after me and they're diamond now. And so I want us all to know that number one, you're not alone in those thoughts, but also I want you to see the beauty in rewriting those words, moving forward, and seeing the gift that's in front of us right now. Because Maddie has told us over and over the last couple of days, the momentum's here. We need to match it. And when I say we need to match it, like our excitement, like your people watching you on your Instagram and your Facebook, they're quite possibly ready. But what if it is that you're not giving them the opportunity to join you? And I will say, like, that was one of my hardest things last week, taking the week off. And there was a lot of good in it too, because it really made me reflect on how do I want to move forward in my business, moving forward and sharing, because I felt FOMO in the fact that everyone was posting up Plexus and sharing about our challenge coming up. And I was like, okay, this is a lot of restraint, but I know that there is good happening in my heart and in my mind. So anyway, we need to move forward in, yes, Danielle, you are having amazing success with this friend too. And that is super encouraging to watch. So that is just proof that there are people that have said, and I will challenge us all here in just a few minutes to go back to conversations that we had 6 months, 12 months ago, because that is something I don't do as often as I probably should. But those people that were maybe not ready 6 months ago, I mean, right now, and I will talk about the vanity part about it too, right? We're all coming off of not just winter, but a 2020 winter and a really hard winter. I've never been so happy to see warmth and sunshine outside of my house. And people are ready to feel healthy and quite honestly look healthy too. And that's okay. It is okay to share a before and after of somebody losing weight. It's not awful. You're going to have people in your life that want to lose weight. You're going to have people in your life that want to have better mental health. You're going to have people in your life that just want to overcome their autoimmune disease. We can't hold that back. So anyway, the next part is I want to talk really quickly about carving out time. This is crucial. And what I also just had a really big realization of last week, it just reminded me of what it's like to work this business when it's not just like, my daughter's in school every day and I get all day to do, like, for some people, it is going to be hard. And I know those of us on this call, like we do have some luxuries of not having so many distractions all the time. But the reality is we do. Whether it is, I'm just going to be honest, plumbing issues in our house, taking up lots of space in our house, in our minds, whether it is planning for a baby, whether it's having your kids have to be pulled out of school. I'm just using all of our examples. Kids being pulled out of a school, no matter what, we're all going to have things all the time jumping at us, taking our time. And so, I mean, and Maddie, you said this, was it last week, about treating this business like a business or a hobby? And when we treat it like a hobby, we let the business go when all of those things enter our life. And so what I had found last week is I had to do a lot of things. Granted, I kind of took time off. I was still doing things behind the scenes. And so I would have to do it when Mia went to bed. I would have to do it when I was giving her 30 minutes to an hour of iPad time, just so I could have a moment of fresh air. I would do those things in little chunks, whereas when she's in school, I do have my whole day to do things in my perfect, beautiful schedule that is going to only last another month and a half. So carving out your time, this looks like planning out your posts. You guys, we have a posting calendar. It's all there. You knew last week all the posts that are coming up for this week. And so it's really on your shoulders whether or not you plan for that on a certain date or even just the night before. You don't have to have the whole week ready. Like sometimes that's not realistic. Last night in bed, I kind of looked at all the posting calendars in my mind, made a plan of what was getting posted today, what wasn't getting posted today, and made a plan for that. I'm going to a wedding this weekend. Going to a wedding, it's my brother's wedding. We're in the wedding. So it's gonna be a crazy weekend. So one of my goals the next couple days is to have things planned out. So in order for me to check out on the weekend, and when I say check out, I'm still gonna be active because I'm gonna be posting family things, but to still show up in my business, I'm going to look at the calendar ahead of time and make a plan for sharing those things over the weekend. So carving out your time. And the next one is creating, and that's kind of going into the same thing, right? So you're carving out time to do those things, but then also give yourself time to create things. Sometimes I'm on the fly person, and sometimes I am a plan my whole week ahead person. And there's time and place for both. But I also think as we're nearing the end of our challenge lineup on Wednesday, I have a plan, but also I'm not going to hold back excitement if I'm excited to share the next 2 days. And if I lose story viewers because I'm sharing excitingly about Plexus, I might lose story viewers, but have 2 people sign up. And is it worth it? In my mind, I think so. Did you unmute, Maddie, or were you already unmuted?
I'm not on mute.
Oh, I thought you were wanting to say something. I didn't want to hold you back if you wanted to say something. And so treating this like a business, not a hobby. And then guys, we can do all the posting in the world. We can do all the planning in the world, but if we're not talking to people, they're not just going to magically appear, right? So connecting. I want to challenge us, and when I say that, I'm challenging myself to make a new list of people for the month of April. Okay. I'm curious. Who has made a list? When was the last time you've made a list of prospecting?
I do. I use the collections on Instagram, or I kind of got away from the Excel. I blame you for that, but but I use the collections on Instagram. It's really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was probably December.
Maddie, collections, do you mean like your saved items? And
Yeah, so I have a saved collection right now that says April prospects.
This is a wonderful idea because I made my list in January, I think, with the Excel file, and haven't made another since. So I'm really liking this idea a lot.
It's probably like, that's probably a really good first step. And then once you really get in deep in prospecting, I love the Excel because I can make notes about conversations or something. Like, you can't
Right.
really do that in collections.
Right.
But for just starting off, and honestly, using your prospects to prime your posts, that's what I do every time. Most of the time, I go to the monthly prospecting list, and I use those people to prime my posts, whether they're Plexus or not.
Something else I was doing this morning, because obviously I just now got my stories going again. And I was curious who's watching my stories now? Like, who after a week and a half, week being gone, is still watching? Maddie's watching. By the way,
Here for the long haul, babe. Here for the long haul.
you want to know what one of my the thing that like made me the saddest with being off of there was like, I like talking to my team, like you guys, in my stories. Like, I was commenting on your stuff, but like we weren't engaging about, I wasn't telling you anything I was doing, and it was weird. Like, I felt disconnected. So anyway, I think I missed you guys probably the most because I love y'all.
I felt bad like messaging you or like replying to you on there because I'm like, I know she's trying to get away from it. I don't want to tempt her.
Well, like I would still, it was like the part that I realized was stressing me out was more so just posting. It wasn't stories, and it wasn't like talking with people in DMs. Well, I will say that got a little bit like, it felt like I was constantly extroverting. I just don't have any more extroverting left in me. But you guys don't require extroverting to me. Like, you're my people. It's a different relationship.
One thing I find with the collections and for myself, I find it still intimidating to talk Plexus on Instagram. And I think part of it, less so now with the new albums and stuff, but it was just the availability of what we have in Actively Balanced. And I would use that a lot at the beginning, whereas we don't have necessarily those types of posts still, or I'm just not as comfortable using them on Instagram still. So that's where I hesitate to use Instagram as my market, for lack of a better word, right now. Even though that's where I'm growing more.
And I think what I'm realizing, and Sarah, you do a beautiful job of sharing like your life and your mornings and your evenings and your day. And so what I have found to make it not feel that way is when I just when I am consistently sharing Plexus daily, it feels less intimidating. It's when I've not shared Plexus at all and then I randomly pop up and share it. That's when it starts to feel kind of yucky in my mind. Not yucky, but like not as natural. And so I think just like getting into that routine, and obviously you can steal any of our things that you ever want. Real quick, because I have to jump off of here for another call in 2 minutes. So that making a new list, I want to challenge this, and I didn't get to that part. I was watching who's watching my stories, and then I'm kind of starting there. Like, who's already invested in my, like what I'm sharing, and they're watching all my Plexus stuff and not hitting unfollow because they're still watching my stuff after a couple days. Who in there would fit my like profile of who would make sense to join my team? And so I'm kind of trying to like go through that and look at people. And I know that sounds like super judgy, but you have to start somewhere. Like, I'm not like saying, oh, this person will never, they're still watching my stories too. But you kind of have to, or you're marketing to everybody, and you're not necessarily, if you market to everybody, you're marketing to no one. And so highly encourage you to make a new list. I'm going to challenge you. Today's Monday. I'm going to ask us again on Thursday. I'm going to put a note in my phone if we've all made a new list for the month of April. So that's my little challenge to you. Okay, I love y'all, but I'm gonna be late for another call if I don't jump off right now. This week, posting end of the challenge at least by like Wednesday, Thursday. Shipping is happening super fast right now. And so if there's some people last minute that join you, I think it's totally fine. And if you have any questions, just ask. Okay, guys. Happy Monday.
Thank you.
I love you guys.